Ukraine's frontline drone detector tested in Denmark. A coalition of European and Ukrainian defense companies launched Dronetex at Odense Airport in Denmark, presenting a set of integrated air defense and counter-drone technologies that its members describe not as future concepts, but as systems already operating in real-world conditions, including on active front lines in Ukraine. The event, organized in partnership with Rasmussen Global, brought together Zvook UDEFENSE-INFO Solutions, Webull Scientific Titan Technologies, and Marduk Technologies to demonstrate how multiple working defense solutions can operate together as a unified platform rather than as isolated products competing for the same procurement dollars. The Dronetex launch is a direct response to the speed at which drone threats have moved from theoretical concern to daily operational reality across Europe. Russia's sustained drone campaign against Ukrainian infrastructure has established a new baseline for what aerial threat saturation looks like at continental scale, and European air defense planners are absorbing a lesson that was invisible 5 years ago. The most dangerous aspect of modern drone warfare is not any single sophisticated system, but the sheer volume of cheap, accessible, unmanned aircraft that can overwhelm defenses designed for a smaller number of high-value aerial threats. Defending against that kind of mass requires layered integrated systems that can detect, track, classify, and engage threats across different ranges and altitudes simultaneously, and no single company's product can cover the entire chain alone. Zvook, the Ukrainian company that has been at the center of the coalition's demonstrations, brought its passive acoustic early warning system to Odense as the detection layer of that integrated architecture. Passive acoustic detection works by listening for the sound signatures that different types of drones produce rather than emitting radar signals that could betray the defender's position to an adversary. Equipped with anti-radiation capabilities, small commercial and military drones have distinctive acoustic profiles generated by their motors and propellers, and a well-designed passive system can detect them at significant range. By analyzing those signatures against a library of known threat profiles, the technology is inherently covert in a way that active radar is not, and it can operate continuously without the power consumption or electromagnetic emissions that radar-based detection requires. Zvook's claim to distinguish itself from competitors in this category rests on operational history that most European defense companies cannot match. At this stage, the system has been continuously operating in frontline conditions in Ukraine since 2022, accumulating more than 3 years of real-world data on actual threat signatures in actual contested environments. That operational track record matters enormously when evaluating counter-drone detection technology, because laboratory performance against simulated targets in controlled conditions frequently fails to predict how a system performs when it encounters the acoustic clutter of a real battlefield. Weather-degraded conditions, novel drone variants that were not in the original training dataset, and adversaries actively attempting to suppress or spoof the detection system. A passive acoustic system that has been running against real Russian drone operations for 3 consecutive years carries a level of validation that no demonstration event, however well-organized, can replicate. Webull Scientific, the Danish company that participated in the Dronetex coalition, brings radar expertise specifically oriented toward tracking fast and small aerial objects. Webull has a long history in precision Doppler radar systems used for both military and scientific applications, and its technology addresses the tracking challenge that passive acoustic systems, powerful as they are for early warning, cannot fully cover, providing precise 3-dimensional trajectory data on multiple simultaneous targets at ranges sufficient to cue engagements. The combination of Zvook's long-range passive acoustic early warning with Webull's precise radar tracking illustrates the layered architecture logic that the Dronetex coalition is built around. Each system covers the limitations of the others rather than attempting to do everything alone. The coalition structure itself, involving companies from Ukraine, Denmark, and other European nations under the organizational umbrella of Rasmussen Global, a Danish advisory and consulting firm with deep ties to NATO and European security institutions, reflects a deliberate effort to build interoperability from the ground up rather than waiting for top-down government coordination to create it. European governments have been notoriously slow to standardize counter-drone architectures across alliance Members in part because national procurement systems are designed to favor domestic industries, and in part because the threat evolved faster than policy could adapt a coalition of companies that have already proven their products can talk to each other and operate as a unified system at a demonstration event gives procurement officials something concrete to evaluate rather than a theoretical interoperability commitment that won't be tested until after a contract is signed. The choice of Odense Airport as the demonstration venue is not incidental. Denmark has been one of the more active European nations in supporting Ukraine, contributing F-16 aircraft, artillery ammunition, and sustained financial assistance, and Danish defense officials are increasingly engaged with the practical question of how to defend the country's own airspace against the drone threats that Ukraine has demonstrated are no longer confined to active war zones, hosting a coalition of companies with proven counter-drone systems at a Danish airport sends a clear signal about where Danish security thinking is heading and provides Dronetex member companies with access to exactly the audience that needs to see what they can do.